Harris and her campaign have called you an existential threat, a danger, and said that you will be a dictator. And after the second attempt on your life in a row, afterwards, Hillary Clinton said, "You're a danger to the country and the world." Do you blame that kind of rhetoric in any way for inspiring assassination attempts, or do you think it's completely unrelated?
Well, I do, and a lot of people say that, but more importantly, it's really just the opposite. They are a danger. They're destroying our country. They're allowing millions and millions of people to come into our country that shouldn't be here, people from jails and people from gangs that are all over there, like Caracas in Venezuela. Their crime is down 72%. You look at what's happening all over the world. And I'm not just talking about South America. I'm talking about prisons are being emptied all over the world. They're dumping them into the United States. Criminals are being taken off the street in cities and places all over the world. They're being dumped into the United States. Mental institutions are being emptied out into the United States. They are a threat to democracy. What they're doing to our country, they're poisoning our country. They're poisoning it. And you can take a look in Ohio, what's happening. You can take a look at Aurora in Colorado and see what's happening.
If elected, you will arguably be the most targeted president in American history, whether we're talking about foreign threats or domestic threats. Does it change how you can govern? If the Secret Service, or some people say they can't guard you effectively at a static golf course, how can they guard you on an overseas trip?
Well, I think we just have to do what you have to do. You know, the only ones that really are trouble are consequential presidents. So in that way, it's a very nice honor. But it's true. I mean, I was a very consequential president and would certainly be, and maybe even more so this time, because I understand the system. I understand countries. I understand who rips us and who doesn't. And a lot of people don't. A lot of people don't have a clue. They don't even know what's happening. And I think that I will feel safe.
Are you ever scared?
I can't be scared, because if you're scared, you can't do your job. So I just can't be. I have thus far had somebody protecting me, because you almost think it couldn't have just been two times. I mean, two times. If I go another 300 or 400 yards walking, which I would have been there in a few minutes, right? Probably 15 minutes. Nasty things could have happened.
Looking at a possible second term, I think people are curious what specific positions you've discussed giving to Bobby Kennedy, Elon Musk, and Tulsi Gabbard. Three people, by the way, who were Democrats, or in the case of Musk, I don't know, at least supported Democrats. What specific positions do you see them holding?
And we have a lot of other Democrats that have come aboard and will come aboard. Bobby will do great on health and on the environment. I didn't make deals with anybody because it's not appropriate to do it at this. It's too early. And with him, it's eating what you eat, what chemicals you put in your body. I mean, he's been fighting for this for years. He looks at other countries where they don't use chemicals, or they use much less than we use, and the people are healthier than they are in the United States, which is not that healthy a country. Bobby's great. Tulsi has always been good from the standpoint of common sense. She's like a common sense person. I've watched her for a long time on shows. I've known her a little bit, and it was a great honor when we got her. She's, you're right, she was a Democrat, and popular too in Hawaii.
Elon Musk?
Well, Elon is Elon. I mean, Elon is, he's endorsed me very powerfully. He feels this is the most important election we've ever had. And as you know, he probably has a couple of other things to do, but
he's indicated he might be willing to help with like government waste type issues.
What he will do is, and the thing that we talk about more than anything else, is exactly that. It's costs. He's a big cost cutter. He's always been very good at it, and I'm good at it. But Elon, I'll tell you what, he will go in and he'll say, "This is what you have to do. You have to do this." He is so into that. He feels there's so much waste and fat in this country, and he's right. He's 100% right.
On immigration, which you've mentioned, most people seem to think that you can tighten up the border. And for the untold millions who are here illegally that you referred to, you've talked about a mass deportation program. How is that practically possible? Because a lot of the millions of people have had children here who are American citizens. And don't you think the first time there is an image on television of a family tearfully being told to board a bus, that whole program would end?
That's right. If you take young woman with two beautiful children, and you put her on a bus, and it ends up on the front page of every newspaper. It makes it a lot harder.
So yes to mass deportation, even of women and
So
children.
we're going to
and
look
so
at it
on.
very closely. The way you phrase it is exactly right. You put one wrong person onto a bus or onto an airplane, and your radical left lunatics will try and make it sound like the worst thing that's ever happened. But we're getting the criminals out, and we're going to do that fast, and we know who they are. And the local police know their names, and they know their serial numbers. They know everything about them. We work with the local police, the local law enforcement, which is great all throughout the country.
On the economy, which you've mentioned, for our viewers, a dozen eggs under Trump cost no more than $2.08 and as low as $1.46. Under Biden-Harris last month, $3.20. Yeah. A gallon of unleaded regular gas under Trump as low as $1.88, never hitting $3. Biden-Harris as high as $5.06, and last month still $3.52. Kamala Harris has been very short on specifics when it comes to economy, other than saying she wants an opportunity economy. What are the specific mechanics of how prices come down? You know, the steps that would be taken in a second term for you?
So, first of all, she can't do an interview. She could never do this interview because you ask questions like, give me a specific answer. She talks about her lawn when she was growing up. This woman is not equipped to be president. She's not equipped to deal with President Xi, who I took in hundreds of billions of dollars with him, and Putin. We had no war with Putin. Remember, and I'm just going to go off just for this, with Bush, they took a lot, Russia. With Biden, they're trying to take everything. With Obama, they took a lot. With Trump, Russia took nothing. Just remember that. You know, it's a little chart. But what happened, and when you look at what took place, was so sad. When they took over, they cut the oil way down, and oil started going through the roof. It was going to go to $10 a gallon. It was going to go to numbers that nobody's ever seen. And so they went back to the Trump drilling. They said, let it go back. That was the only good thing, but they stopped. Because I would be there, but 4 years later, I would be triple what the number was. Right now, they're just about even where I was. But they only did that because of the fact that they eventually have an election coming up. And you remember at the beginning what happened. That's one of the reasons that Putin went in, because it went to $100 a barrel instead of $40 a barrel. And he could fight all the wars he wants with those kind of numbers because he's a big seller of oil and gas. And
I'm wondering, looking back at you sitting out for 4 years, basically, at least, is there a benefit to that in terms of you being able to see, maybe to regather, regroup, see who you could trust and who you can't trust?
Well, that's a good point, but I'll tell you the maybe bigger point. It would have been easier if I did it, you know, contiguous, to be honest. You have to go a long way back in history to see the one person that was able to do it non-consecutively. But the benefit is, more than anything else, it shows how bad they were. It shows how bad this radical left, liberal, crazy philosophy is with.
What are two things you do to stay healthy?
Well, I used to play golf a little bit. That gave me, so I don't know, but it seems to be quite a dangerous sport in retrospect. I try and eat properly. I do the best, and I try and get some. I do, but proper hamburgers. But I like perhaps all of the wrong food. But then I say, does anybody know what the right food is?
You're
I
right
have
about
people
that.
lecturing me for years. Oh, don't eat this, don't eat that. They're gone. They have passed away long ago.
That thought
And
keeps
here I
changing.
am. So I'm not sure I want to make too many changes.
And then, if you're not successful this time, do you see yourself running again in 4 years?
No, I don't. No, I don't. I think that will be it. I don't see that at all. I think that hopefully we're going to be successful.
Mr. President, thank you for the interview. I appreciate it.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Sharyl.
Thanks for joining us. From Mar-a-Lago, I'm Sharyl Attkisson.